45 minutes takes to get to Cornwall Creek. And these are the south outliers banded. Just parked the bike. The new elbow trails up there. And I'm just at the junction with the old one. Put it in the trees, so it should be safe here. And this is the old blown out trail. Just got rerouted higher. Just made it to Big Elbow Camp, and it is surprisingly quiet. Is Elbow Overlook, and we're going to seriously try and get to it today, because I really don't want to come back for it a third time. And just working my way back from the campsite to the river crossing. A quick walk through the woods, and then you come to the old connector trail that takes you to camp alongside the river, but not really used anymore because it's been blown out on both ends. So this is just over 9 QMEX. Very low still. Finally found the trail going to 40A. What I had to do was traverse below the main trail to find it, because I knew it was hard to find from the main road, so I did bump into it going this way, and I could tell from the road it's overgrown, so that's why we missed it the last time I came through. Just getting a glimpse of the north end of Threepoint. And this trail is faint, but now so is long. There's no willows or anything. It should be just a meadow walk. Well, the trail faded out after a few minutes, just at the beginning. And it was mildly bushy, so I just was able to walk through it. No troubles. Right below 40A, Elbow Overlook. I'm gonna skirt the scramble in the trees. Okay, gonna need hands for this last step. And straight ahead on the left side of that middle grassy patch is the old road, and that's the high point. So after that we're dropping down a cut line. A shot of the elbow overlook from afar on top of that rocky plateau. And now we descend from the high point. And this cut line is good all the way to the upper Threepoint meadow. Because we were on this last year. Right now we're on the last section of cut line before upper Threepoint Creek Trail. This is going to be easy walking all the way to the four-way junction. We're in the middle of the four-way junction. That's looking north towards Threepoint Creek Trail. Sorry, Threepoint Mountain. That's Threepoint Creek. And that's heading south down Threepoint Mountain. And then this is the cut line route. Looking west where I just came from. And this is the start of upper Threepoint Creek. On the west end of upper Threepoint. The trail's been coming and going. Looks like it's converted to old road now. At the beginning it was definitely just single track. It was about single track for probably just over a kilometer. And then soon enough we're gonna come to that deep drainage where this road has a big hairpin around it. So trail's been good, easy to follow. Creek's right next to me the whole time. This is the farthest the creek's gotten, but valley's starting to close in just a little bit. We're not too tight yet. And we are a bit lower in the trail. It's wet. We're at the big deep drainage. So the trail took a 90-degree left. And when we get near the top, do a hairpin and head south again. This thing was way too steep to take the old road across, so they had to go up and around. That's where we walked north on. This is looking south, and you can see it's just a big hairpin in this drainage. Finally doesn't get incised, and it cuts right across here, so easy. So from the T-junction leading to Forgetmenot South and the trail heading down to the creek, the book shows that there's a trail that leads to the rock band, and I took it, and this is it. So yeah, it was a good trail, but it didn't do anything, so I'm gonna head back and head down slope to intersect the creek trail. Well, I'm down at the creek and I found the zigzags. I'm just east of the hairpin, and I know I'm on the trail because there's a trail, and this is the crag that the book says that you pass under. So, it is not a good trail, but we're just picking away at it and see where it takes us. And this is the slabby ledge you gotta cross. And now we're definitely getting tight down here. Still a really faint trail. Barely call it that. But you just have to go in this one direction. And eventually we'll make it there. I think this is it. The diagonal lower Forget-Me-Not rock band. Starting to climb on a rocky trail here. And across the creek is the rocky section of Black Cow. Still on the traverse. Trail's pretty good. It's just overgrown and scratchy in places. For how rocky and hard this terrain is, I'm surprised there's such a good trail through here. But still easy to follow. Haven't lost it since starting. And the creek is way down there. So soon enough we're gonna have to start descending because we're less than 3 kilometers from camp. So it doesn't stay this high the whole time. I made it out of the rocky section, and now I'm into the foresty section. And my legs are so scratched up at this point. It is going to be tender later on. Well, I've crossed the creek, and this is the Black Cow South Bank Trail. So heading off in that direction's camp. I'm going to check out Black Cow just for a bit, but definitely lost the trail where it petered out going through there, but back on track. Well, I'm arriving at camp early, so I decided to check out the Black Cow route. And this is where it crosses the drainage. the trail is actually quite good. So when I do this thing, my original thought was to descend it, but now I changed it to going to ascend it because I know where the good trail starts from the bottom at least. So that's the future plan. So the Black Cow Trail is that way. The creek crossing that I took is right there. And in no more than 10 seconds of walking, the recross trail is right here. So I'm gonna collect water and head up because this is the last time we're gonna be down here. This is the junction with the Forgetmenot road. So tomorrow morning, we're going up the right-hand path. Just came up the left side there. So we got about 500 more meters till camp. And it's just walking on this road. So today we get 6 ticks. Trail is overgrown, relatively easy to find, not that interesting, but there were some good views at the beginning, pretty much before our elbow lookout ended, so 6, not that good. Just made it to the same site as we camped at last time. I'm gonna set up right here. But unfortunately, my water source doesn't exist this late in the year. This used to have quite a bit of water running through it back when we were here last time. Not anymore. So gonna have to walk all the way down the slope to the creek and get some water there. I'm not sure how this happened overnight because it didn't rain any. But there now is some running water. There's water all throughout here. And it was completely dry yesterday, but I'm definitely not using it because not a lot. And it's still pretty stagnant. But so damp out. My map last night or before bed was wet. And my clothes are quite damp right now. But it's just super humid out. You can see that there's tons of condensation in the air. Came down to the zigzaggy cross, and the water is quite low this time of year. Heading up Forgetmenot Fire Road. Bunch of spider webs I have to keep pushing away. And it's easy overgrowth. Nothing that gets you tangled up. Nothing more than a minor annoyance. Well, the overgrowth only lasted for about a kilometer. And now on the ascending straightaway, it's getting tight with pines. Not too bad, but definitely narrow. From the midway bench, going up there. It's the traverse that I went through yesterday. And the north rocky face of Black Cow. Now we're heading to the end of the ridge. Drops down just a little bit, so it's not going to be too bad getting back. And here's the back side of the summit. Made it to Forgetmenot Pot, but it has been filled in. I don't know if naturally or what, but it doesn't really exist anymore. 80 meters deep. And we're just by the end of the ridge, so no point going down there. Just a view to more trees. So. Just at the bottom of that white arrow looking rock is the tiny crack that leads to it, and I can see that it goes straight down when I walk down there, but that big block is blocking it all. We're on the final climb up, and it's getting a lot rockier, but it's weird because there's just huge piles of random boulders with no rock faces anywhere even near. No clue how they formed like that. Well, the upper trail's starting to fade out around the double switchbacks. I'm just here for footage of this cliff. This is just below Fire Lookout. So bypassing all the rock bands and it's going to be an easy top out. Fairly smoky today. First day of smoke, August 1st. Forget-Me-Not Pot is at the end of the grassy ridge, and this is the very rocky drainage. Well, the trail conditions heading up to the lookout were decent, marginally. Lost the trail in some areas, overgrown like this, but still okay. Done much worse. Just towards the end there was no trail, and then I just had to climb steeply up the slope to get to the lookout. Just at the junction with the lookout climb, the South Ridge descent. These are the meadows, and we're heading off this way. This trail is popular with the horsies, and even mountain bikers do it. So I'm expecting it to be great all the way down. This trail is in such good shape. Except a short meadow. Goes through the trees here. And then it'll descend meadows again. Second meadow traverse. Now the trail has changed characteristics. Rocky, loose, steep, and it's probably going to be like this all the way down. We're still high above that drainage that's on our right side. Alright, so we did everything new. We're back on the upper Threepoint trail, just doing the hairpin around the deep drainage. And the rating on this one, I'm gonna give it 5.5 ticks. It was good for adventure. There was some bushwhacking, some faded trails, but it's part of the adventure. So views were good from the lookout. Forgetmenot pot was cool. 5.5 ticks. And now we're doing the long haul home.